Hello, Sanbonani Dumelang, Monweni Mzansi Africa, and welcome to your #1 youth show. This is Expressions right here on SABC 1. Kanti Dimlo, ukalo Sakalubisi, the brightest star, Unokanyezi. Kanti Mbukeli in Nelson Mandela marks 17 years since Mandela Day was launched. Nalaboke ikhuthaza izigidi zabemi boMzansi Africa around the world to dedicate 67 minutes to serving others in honor of Nelson Mandela legacy. Kodwa ke singumzansi Africa funeke sizibuze umbuzo, ingabe ukwenza umehluko yinto esiyenza imihla ngemihla okanye usuku olunye. In a time where many believe that spirit of ubuntu is fading, kukhona abantu abatsha basuka mbombo zone zelilizwe who are choosing compassion over indifference, action over excuses, and service over self-interest. Ulenkqubo ke namhlanje si expression city ubuntu ekubantu abatsha who are making remarkable change makers who are carrying the baton on proving that Mandela's legacy lives on. Hayi kuphela nge-Nelson Mandela Day, kodwa ke usuku nosuku. We'll also explore the importance of active citizenship, the role yabantu abatsha bangayidlala in shaping South Africa's future, and why even the smallest act of kindness can leave a lasting impact. Bakhona ke Mbukeli ebazaba kunye nathi we do have 3 change makers that are doing their bit ukuqinisekisa Mbukeli into yokubana we leave ilizwe elihle kakhulu. Sinaye uPeterson Sibati, who is the founder of Ritsatsela. We also have Umusa Sono, a director of Emuseni Foundation. We also have Usindisiwe Mkhize, the rose among the thorns. Yenake we activist and a change maker. Happy Nelson Mandela Month. Siyanamkela apha Expressions.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us here.
Yeah. Musa mona ndiyafuna uqala ngawe. I mean, at just 20 years, you've already committed your life in serving abantu, ubuntu, umntu ngumuntu ngabantu. Intoni eyakhuthaza into yokubana ube yinxalenye nomsebenzi onje?
I'll be honest with you. Ngiqale ngibulise. Ngithi good morning kulabo abangaziyo. Mina ngizalelwe eDobsonville Soweto to 2 parents who were God-fearing, God-loving, but most importantly people who had a passion for a community. I was raised in a house where we would live with 20, 30 strangers, people we didn't know, but people who didn't have homes, and they would grow up within our home. And from those young ages, ngicale ngabona ukuthi ngumuntu abantu ngithanda abantu ngithanda ukusiza abantu. And I would always say ukuthi the best days of my life was the day I was born and the day I realized and learned why I was born. And that is why I live my life with purpose.
And I mean, that shows ndokubana ukufumana purpose, and you are living a life of purpose. Ndiyafuna ukuza kuwe Peterson, because part of the work that you do uncedisa esikolweni, uncedise nabantu abatsha. Why is that important?
Oh, I think I've often said that men find their highest purpose in serving others. Man.
Yeah.
I think I was firstly convicted by a local park that was turned into a dumping site. And for several years, I gotten to see the park, you know, really being such a good place for communities to come together. But for a time, you know, it was left to ruins. And I was just touched, and I thought to myself, how can I just really restore this local park? Now, with many young people from Potchefstroom gathering with me and helping me with the project, that really initiated a movement that would spread throughout Potchefstroom.
Wow, lovely. Uthetha ngePotchefstroom, kumnandi lokubana sihlanganise abantu abatsha abenza umohluko kwindawo ezahlukileyo. Kwindawo yakho wena Sindiswa wenza ntoni kanye kanye?
Okay, I'd like to greet everybody, guys. Thank you for having me here. My name is Sindiswa Mkhize, and I am the founder of Team Success. So Team Success began in my hostel. Ema hostela insizwa we ziganiwe emakhaya, but izila igoli ihlele ema hostela zihleli lele hostela zinawo umsebenzi mazithi ziyafika ziyomaketha umsebenzi enkampanini, they are being rejected simply because they can't speak English. So I came in ema hostela ngaqala ngasungula Team Success. So Team Success has been running for the past 3 years, yet I'm only on TikTok for the past 3 weeks. Okay. So ngathi no athi ngisiza abantu laba bangakwazi ukufinyelela emsebenzini ngingabanikezi, because I also run a soup kitchen in the streets of Hillbrow. Ema hostela, the informal settlements. Ngathi hawa abantu abahle kangaka benziwa yini ngampela ukuthi kuthiwa abasebenzi. Bangitshela ukuthi hayi ngeke emsebenzi siyathola 350 ama grant eingane sithi masithi siyofesa ama CV yalahlwa. Ngathi hayi ukhona kusindi ngayicabanga le ndaba ngathi angene enkampanini ngibamakethele. So guys, this is what I do. in the city of Joburg. I help young people to unlock their potential.
Wow.
I help people who wish to go to rehab to reach out to AMA rehabs and take them to the rehab.
That is the true spirit of ubuntu.
There is a very famous lady that I would not like to disclose. Her son was in drugs, right? I met the son in Hillbrow, in the streets of Hillbrow. Her mom is the lady, well-known, popular, the works. I took her son to Akiso, right? Rehab that is in Parktown. Ngamhambisa waya kwi-rehab wa-right usizwe namhlanje usizwe is a graduate.
Wow.
But he was on substances. Ngacabanga ngathi, you know what, I'm doing so much kunengane ePeria, Hillbrow, Yeoville, Bedrums
Mkhulu kakhulu lo msebenzi wenzayo. Yeah.
Abused women.
Yeah.
Ngiyabathatha ngibayise ema-shelter, ngiba-enroll,
Yeah.
ngibasize bethole imisebenzi.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. And then ndiyafuna ukuza kuwe because I mean mhle kakhulu umsebenzi wenzayo kwaye sukuthulela umnqwazi. We need abantu abafana nawe. Part of your foundation usebenza kakhulu ukuncedisa indaba ye food security. Izidatha ziyaxhalabisa kakhulu we kuthiwa 14 millions of South Africans abakwazi into okubana balale betyile. Ingaba mhlambe kumsebenzi owenzayo ungathi ngeyiphi imingeni ojamelene nayo challenges in ensuring that you achieve the work that you are doing in your foundation?
So I'll first start by explaining to the viewers what Emuseni Foundation yenzani. So we feed 200 to 300 people Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays in our community. But we don't only feed people because just feeding people is crippling them. You need to equip them in order for them to be able to provide for themselves. And therefore, we've started the institutions, 4 institutions, Emuseni Sewing. Funny enough, these clothes that I'm wearing here were sewn by my students at Emuseni Sewing. Every stitch here is a mother fighting against unemployment. Every stitch here is a hope for a young person who is fighting unemployment that we are having. And we also have Emuseni Agri where we farm together. We also have Emuseni Technological, Emuseni Tech, where we teach people how to type CVs and look for jobs. And the challenges that you would, of course, face in those type of things is people will obviously betray you, people will come in and steal, you try and help abantu. Yeah.
And it's kakhulu, and I mean, it gets me to my next question because kukhona lento ekuthiwa apha eMzantsi Afrika ubuntu buya buphela ngenxa yezinto esizibonayo, the high rate of crime, lento uthetha ngayo. I mean, we've seen attacks as abantu bangaphandle, izinto mhlambe ezibeka into okubana ubuntu buyaphela. Do you believe that ubuntu is fading?
To be honest, I don't think so, ma'am. I've seen, you know, the support of South Africans, ma'am, who were not even in Potchefstroom, sewing into the work that we were doing. That we got it to go into more than 20 communities in Potchefstroom, just because of people would see videos, see us working and say, how can we assist you? The equipment that we have right now, even the sponsors that we have, it was just people seeing it from, not even from Potchefstroom, people outside saying, but we believe in what's happening in Potchefstroom and we want to see it grow. So I do believe that there are certain people that have a heart to see our communities being changed.
Kodwa singavumelana into okubana akusafani nakuqala. Like if you look at in rural communities basayibambile lanto yobuntu. In isiXhosa kuthiwa intaka yakha ngoboya benye. It takes a village to raise a child. Mhlambe thina as this generation yangoku singenza ntoni, especially on social media, because siyasibona abantu begxekana, becriticizana. What can you do to revive obabuntu basendulo? Ndifuna ukuza kuwe.
I think it's all about educating them. But if when we are doing usizo, then help other people as well. Because I've got volunteers in all of these hostels that are actually helping people to go print out their SARS, get their CVs together, you know, and assist other. If omyumdeng and I mali transport to get interview, then help the next person. But ubuntu sis buncinci ngoku. Nowadays, amongst the people that we actually help. Bayalidinga bona usizo uluza kubo, but olunye ubusizo babanika omnye umuntu, they don't do that. So ubuntu buncinci ngoku. I feel like now is the time everybody is seeing what is happening in the country, yet people are not standing up to say, you know, express yourself. So now I feel like no, people must just rise up, youth people, abantu abatsha, rise up, and then basi usize abanye abantu, help the next person.
Yeah. And indaba ka Nelson Mandela Month ayonto mhlambe enjengokuba nina nisenza, because you are living your purpose every single day serving people. Senza njani uqinisekisa into okubana ngenene nangenyaniso it's not just a one day thing or ngenyanga kodwa siyaqiniseka into okubana sihamba kumzila kaBawu Matiba?
I think it's important that we take this month, including this day, Mandela Day, as a moment to reflect, to understand ukuthi abotata Mandela had their own struggle, and their struggle was political, and today we are facing a different type of struggle, which is an economic struggle. And the reason why we do youth empowerment or empowerment emuseni is because before that we have to feed you first, because a hungry stomach cannot listen to anything. A hungry stomach cannot learn anything. And therefore, nomuye emakhaya, back in the days, you'd hear abogogo bathi no fike endaweni, no fike emzini, they would cook for you, they would feed you. Food is our love language, as abantu abamnyama, and therefore that is why we need to, bridge that gap. We are living in an age of individualism. Everyone is looking out for themselves. We don't believe that there's enough space for all of us at the top. We do not believe that, and it's because of these type of generational traumas that we need to actually go into and fix from the root.
Speaking about fixing generational traumas that seem to have manifested kuti singabana batsha, because sisazithwele izinto esithini kumuntu omtsha ngendaba yobuntu, kodwa ke ndiyafuna into yokubana siqhubeke ngale ngxoxo. For now ndifuna nje siseleni amanzi. Mbukeli we-Expressions, be sure not to move a muscle. Wena uthini xa kuthethwa ngobuntu kuthi qatha ntoni engqondweni yakho? Let's go to the break. You're watching Expressions. Welcome back. You are still watching Expressions. Apha kunqa phambili. Ngaphambi kokuba siye entengisweni, we chatted with three incredible young people making a difference in their communities. Let's begin by understanding the significance of Mandela Day and why umyalezo wakhona use-relevant kuna namhlanje. Kanti ke mugeli namhlanje sinayo acting head of marketing at Nelson Mandela Foundation. Masikubulisa sikwamkele Expressions. Phanenda kunqa, enkosi ngokuba nathi.
Dumela, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and ndiyafuna uqonda into yobana 17 years sisathetha ngeMandela Day, it's still relevant. Ucinga uba kutheni ingcambu saqinile?
It's because the world that Nelson Mandela left behind, it's different, but it's still the same. So some of the concerns that Madiba had before he passed still remain today, like poverty, inequality, unemployment. I think the young people also spoke about a lot of other things, drug addiction and all of that. And I think actually the world that Madiba left behind is more complex today. And that's why this day is still relevant. Remember in 2009, when Madiba stepped away from public life, his last words were that if you see suffering, if you see poverty, if you see inequality, do something, act, And his last words were, it is in your hands now. I'm handing over the baton. And that's why our theme is, it is in your hands to combat poverty and inequality.
Isezandleni zakho yonke lento ngumuntu omtsha. Umano raised something very important to say that xa sijonga kwixesha likaBawu Matiba, their struggles were different xa sicomparisha with young people in this age. Ungathi mhlawumbe xa sijonga the theme of this year and the young people of today, kubo ithetha ntoni?
Yeah, I think young people of today are underestimated. I think the theme really speaks to the role that they already play.
Yeah.
I think the idea that young people are not doing anything, it's not true, it's not factual. Young people are driving social change across the world and in South Africa. If you also remember, political fighters of back in the day were 16, 14, 13. They were quite younger than the young people of today. But I think to them, it's a message that says, it is in your hands. You're more than capable. That's the type of, inspiration Madiba was trying to give to young people to say, you can do it. If I could, so could you.
Yeah, and there are a lot of things that are discouraging us as young people. We are seeing corruption phakathi kwezopolitiko, and that is the spirit of greed. Kuba kaloku xa ungena esikhundleni ungena with laa mhobholo into ifunele kuwe. Hence we are seeing all of these things esisibonayo singabantu abatsha. How can we make sure that we revive ubuntu in spaces esingena kuzo, from work to acts of service? How do we revive ubuntu sibeke phambili?
Yeah, I think the best way to revive ubuntu is to make it a lifestyle. to make it part and parcel of how we live, whether it's with your neighbor, whether it's endlini, it needs to start at home and it needs to also go into the community. Ubuntu is not something that we teach, it's something that we live. We have to live it. So I think the best way is to live Ubuntu, make it a culture. And that's the types of things Nelson Mandela kept on championing, you know, in social cohesion, you know, in his spirit of always saying, you know, we must always be able to talk to one another, even if we don't agree. We may not agree, but we must be able to sit on a table together and come to a common understanding that we have to share this world, we have to share this society. So where do we then compromise? We need to compromise with each other and say we may not agree on certain things, but how do we sit down and journey together? And I think we still have that responsibility. Society as a whole, not just South Africa, around the world, we all still have the responsibility to continuously have difficult conversations about the society in which we want to live in and how do we together make that happen.
Siyaqonda ukubana sisuka kwinyanga yabantu abatsha sichwechwa silapha nje kwi-Nelson Mandela Month siwela siye kwinyanga yamanina. Siyaqonda ukubana nakhona kumanina kukhona gender based violence nezinto esibonakala into yokubana zingumqobo kananjalo kuphinde kuthiwa amanina akavisisani. Siyibridge njani lo gap, and for a young person osibukele ekhaya yintoni into yokubana uyayenza umhla nemihla uqinisekisa into yokubana the spirit lives on?
Yeah, I think the best way to do that is to remember that the spirit is not a spirit of someone who was a god or someone who was in the clouds. The spirit is the spirit of someone who was a human being, who was an ordinary person, who made a decision and a choice to make a difference, which is something we can all do. It's to remember that you don't have to look at your class, your circumstances, where you are, and judge yourself and say, I can't make action because, hey, I'm just an ordinary person who has nothing. But it's to remember that it took ordinary people who had nothing, who were oppressed, constantly arrested, beaten every day to make choices in their lives and saying, we are not giving up. We are going to keep on pressing on to make sure that we have a different world. And I think when it comes to women, it's to remember that together we're powerful. There's something very powerful about collective action. We can't do anything in silos. When we come together, we make a collective difference. And if you can't hold the hand of another woman and go with her alongside her, then because we have the similar experiences, you know. And this is also to men. This is not, gender-based violence is not a fight that is going to be only fought by women alone. Everybody needs to be involved. And I know that even queer people experience gender-based violence. You know, there are many forms. Men experience rape, as an example, as well. So we need to come together. And together, there's so much we can achieve.
And we can make a difference. And more than anything, as women, we share the most powerful thing, which is a womb. Kanisixelele nje qabaqaba into yokubana nizawenza ntoni kwi-67 minutes njenge-Nelson Mandela Foundation?
Yeah. As the Nelson Mandela Foundation, we've kind of let go of the tagline 67 minutes because over the years we thought, you know, this is becoming one of those things where you just give an hour, tick a box, and then you move and say, I've made a difference, I'm cleaning my conscience. That's why we started talking about making every day a Mandela Day.
Siyabulela kakhulu. Thank you so much for joining us. Alright, Mbukeli, masithi qhwi evenkileni. Be sure to not move. Muscle kaloku umntu ngumntu ngabantu. Welcome back. You are still tuning into Expressions apha kunqa phambili. Sisafafaza kaloku Mbukeli umoya wobuntu njengoko siphawula inyanga ebalulekileyo iMadiba Month. Nsenendwendwe zam kaloku ukhona uMusa Sono, uSindiswa Mkhize noPeterson Sibata. Siyayiqola siyayiqongqotha and ndiyafuna uqonda kuwe Peterson into yokubana pha ePotchefstroom yintoni abantu abatsha bangathi bayilindele kuwe nawe obabizayo into yokubana mabeyinxalenye kumsebenzi owenzayo?
I do not understand.
No, I'm saying, I mean, as njengokuba usebenza umsebenzi omhle, what is your call to young people in Potchefstroom so that they can also take part in the work that you are doing?
Okay, to be the change that they long to see, ma'am. So far, we've really been running an initiative called Project 44, which is going into 44 suburbs in Potchefstroom, initially like restoring the whole of Potch. Now, we want to see kids being able to use their bathrooms in public schools. We want to see kids being able to play in parks. We want to see, you know, roads being able to work again. So I'm calling young people to be a part of the change that they long to see. That yes, you can be the change that you want to see by taking the step and becoming part of that change.
Be the change. Ngamazwi kaba uMadiba lowo. Talk to us about the initiative that you are also having where you are calling over 3,000 young people. Itini.
Okay, I'm actually calling 3,000 young people from the ages of 18 to 28 years old in Joburg. Go onto my TikTok page, it's Team Success Joburg. My address is on my bio. Bring your CV, guys. Let me plug you. Let me give you the opportunity. Let me unlock the potential that you have been longing for. Guys, I give job opportunities the whole of Gauteng. Guys, learnerships, guys, come through. I'll give you a warm meal on the day. It must be a Saturday at 11 a.m. next week, guys. Come, the day is, what's the date next week?
Next week, it's going to be on a Saturday.
Saturday next week.
And
It's not the
kuwe
18th.
initiative because, I mean, lento yenzayo, uchile kuqala into yokubana awutyisi kuphela, but you are restoring dignity. Part of the work that you are doing, especially to ebantwaneni, ithini, and what is your call to young people so that nabo babe yinxalenye kumsebenzi wakho?
In the words of the great Utatu Mandela, it seems impossible until it's done. And we need to start taking matters into our own hands as the youth. And this July, before this July, on the 5th of August, on my birthday, we'll be feeding 500 people. And so if any of you guys want to, be part of the day, let us do that. My life is not for myself, it's for the impact of others. And I believe if we can change the culture of individualism and begin to live for the community, we'll make a greater change.
And Peterson, what message do you have, for young people who are watching this discussion and feeling, you know what, my spirit of ubuntu is revived. I want to start something, but andazi ukuthi ngizoqala ngaphi. They say start where you are with what you have. What is your message to young people?
Is that there is hope, ma'am. You could start wherever you are with whatever you have. I think we started off with a rake, a shovel, and a bag of plastic bags. And to what we have today, it's just, a miracle.
Massive.
And we just want to say is that great things start with almost nothing. And it just takes a will, somebody who is hopeful for a better future. So I think, that's just my message, that there is hope, man.
Beautiful. And if uba uMadiba were to see izinto enizenzayo ningabantu abatsha, ilizwi lakhe ucinga uba lingathini?
Hey, ngibone ngathi angajabula ngathokoza kakhulu. Because nami nginokuthola people that are actually messaging me bengibuza ukuthi how did I start? I started off with nothing, but here I am today. You just need to use your brains and see what is it that is needed in your community and get up and do it. It takes nothing to do change, to give change and hope to the people.
Qaba nje. Enkosi kakhulu ngokubani benathi and sharing your very important insights. Siyazidla ngani expressions nenza umsebenzi omhle kakhulu sinothulela umnqwazi. Enkosi kakhulu ngokubanani.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Right, Mukeli siqela siqonqotha ngolo hlobo. Thank you so much for joining us. Siyathemba nawe into yokubana kuyo le Mandela Month uzawuhambisa the spirit of ubuntu. Taking us out today is Thabo Mahlaba with a song titled Impilo Yam. Good night.